Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Boulder. I'm Dr. Emily Coriath. I'm your music director. I will be one of many people to welcome you this morning. That is on purpose. I've got a new song to teach you this morning. Choir folks, you'll recognize this. I have taken the melody from a beautiful choral piece by Issei Barnwell, who's just a fabulous, luminous voice in the Unitarian Universalist movement. She's one of the founding members of the vocal group Sweet Honey in the Rock. And I'm going to teach this to you. I'm going to teach you the first couple lines one at a time, and then we'll get to getting. So why don't you rise in body or in spirit and repeat after me. If we want hope to survive. If we want hope to survive in this world today. You go. If we want hope to survive in this world today, good, then every day we've got to pray on, you go. Then every day we've got to pray on, good. If we want hope to survive in this world today, you go. If we want hope to survive in this world today, fantastic, then every day we've got to pray on. You go. Then every day we've got to pray on. Fantastic. You're ready. Let's do it. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to pray on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to pray on, walk on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to walk on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to walk on, work on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to work on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to work on, move on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to move on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to move on, march on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to march on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to march on, teach on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to teach on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to teach on, sing on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to sing on. If we want hope to survive in this world today, then every day we've got to sing on. Nicely done.
One of my very, very, very most favorite songs. Thank you so much. Good morning. Yay. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Boulder. What a treat to see all of your lovely faces on this Sunday morning. My name is Chris Zanoni, and I serve on the Personnel Committee and on the Adult Religious Education Planning Team.
And the Music Committee.
And Music Committee. And choir. As a lot of people have a lot of things on their to-dos that they get the pleasure of doing and serving the congregation. One of the things I love the most about this congregation is really the first part of our mission statement, which is connect bravely. And I want to reflect briefly on things that I see in terms of building community intentionally. And you've probably seen this. If you haven't, please check it out, and there's probably another one coming. But this is chock-a-block full of things that we are doing. And so on Tuesday night, we had our Creating Theology Together class, and I see some familiar people in that class. And so it's about looking at UU theology, but then more close to home, looking at our own theology. What is it we believe? And looking for different ways to express that. And Michael is facilitating that. And then the next night, our friend Paula leads a monthly practical spirituality gathering. And it's looking at, it's a group, and we get together for kind of like a covenant group in terms of confidentiality and sharing. And so talking about what's going on in our lives, and that's the what. And then it's the so what does that mean? And then now what? It's a pretty neat organizer. And so I was just looking at those 2 evenings and looking at the conversations that we were having and realizing that, and we all know that this is a non-dogma faith, but what we do is we are together Sunday, and again, it's lovely to see all these wonderful smiling faces. But then it's that we take that out and take that outside these walls, and we meet together, we work together, we do social justice work together, we get to know each other better that way. And so I'm just struck by the building community in all those various informal and more formal groups. And so that just stands out to me in terms of what makes this congregation special. I want to extend a very warm welcome to everyone who's visiting us for the first time. Every Sunday there are more and more lovely new faces. Looking forward to getting to know you. We are an intentional community. We're gathered around our shared promise to support each other's individual spiritual journeys. As I mentioned, we don't all believe the same things. It's non-dogmatic in exactly the same way, but we do share the same values and the same commitment to our spiritual growth. We share the faith that our beliefs become real when we act on them to make the world a better place. And we share the commitment to live a life grounded in community. If you're joining us online, please fill out a visitor form in the link in the description. We would love to connect with you. Each week we gather, we light our chalice, just as 1,000 other congregations do around the country. It is a symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. It's past, it's present, and its future. It is a visible reminder of our interconnection. As we light our chalice, we also say our congregation's mission to remind us of the way we have agreed to be and to work together as a community. Would you all rise now in body or spirit? You may join hands with those next to you, or simply place your hands over your heart as we say our mission together. I should probably look at the screen. We gather in fellowship to connect bravely, deepen spiritually, embody justice, and always love. You'll notice that there's another chalice here, and I would love to have some kiddos, any volunteers to help light this, or scanning for hands to come up. Oh, come on, this is an amazing opportunity. Becky, a kid at heart.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is Michael DeSantis. I use they, them pronouns. I am your summer minister in residence for this month of July, and I am here to offer today's wisdom story. And today, our wisdom story is a book. It's a book called We Are the Builders by Deepa Iyer. And in this book, we're going to have a guide whose name is Ramla, and she's going to lead us through some different things. So here's how Ramla starts. Welcome to our community day. Are you ready to find your role to play? My name is Ramla, and I am your guide. Follow me and stay by my side. So many grown-ups and kids are here. Everyone wants to volunteer. There's plenty to do in our town. Help new friends. Plant trees in the ground. The time is now. Let's all play a part. Listen and learn. What moves your heart? So now Ramla is going to lead us through a couple different roles that we can play in our community. And she's going to tell us what they do and then ask us who wants to play those roles. And my invitation to you all is that if you want to join that team or play that role, just go ahead and raise your hand. Just go ahead and raise your hand when I say who wants to join this team or that team. And you can join multiple teams. You don't have to wait and find out what they all are. Cool? Okay, great. There's plenty of work to do. So first up, we are the builders. We form and forge, connect and fix, improve homes with nails and with bricks. See these old desks, tables, and chairs? Good as new, with some repairs. Who wants to join the builders? Yeah, we've got some builders. All right, next up, we are the caregivers. We comfort, console, soothe, and cheer. Care kits for all, near and dear. Acts of service and words that mend. How can I help my new friend? Who wants to join the caregivers? Yeah, caregivers, excellent. We are the frontline responders. We plan and protect. Stay prepared. Storms brewing, but don't be scared. Stock cans of soup, bags of fresh fruits. Gather warm coats, gloves, and boots. Who here wants to join the frontline responders? Yeah. All right. Next up, we are the disruptors. All right, we're already disrupting the service. Good job, folks. We declare, demand, and demonstrate. Call for change. Don't hesitate. Raise our voices, banners, and beats. Meet and march out in the streets. All right, who wants to join the disruptors? All right. Next up, we are the visionaries. We dream, imagine, and inspire a world that we can all admire. Fresh air, clean water, safe and free. Bright futures. That's what we see. Who wants to join the visionaries? Yeah. We are the healers. We renew and restore and relieve. We tend to those who cry and grieve. Sometimes when the world is too much, we nurture with breath and touch. Who wants to join the healers? Yeah. We are the storytellers. We sing, we dance, we create art. Bring joy and love, heart to heart. Vibrant murals preserve our past, histories, cherished at last. Who wants to join the storytellers? Yeah. Of all the different roles to play, which one feels like you today? You could also become a guide like me, show new folks what they can be. We mentor, we advise, we steer, share wisdom, honest and clear. Now that it's clear what each of us can do, we want to hear from all of you. And I really mean that. Over the next week, I invite you to reflect on these questions that Rama has just asked us and these questions that we're going to close with, that the book ends with. And here they are. What role would you choose? Who would you be? How will you change your community? I can't wait to hear and to see all of your answers play out over the next weeks and months.
I think this story is so important, and when Michael talks to us in more depth in their sermon, we're going to be reminded that none of us have to do all of this by ourselves. And sometimes when we're so aware of how much hurt and how much wrong there is all around us, which is one of our commitments as Unitarian Universalists, not to turn away, it feels that we're supposed to do it all by ourselves. And so I think the beauty of this story is that we can embrace the roles that we're born for, the things that we're being asked to do, and we don't have to do it all on our own. And so that's why I chose this next song, just to remind us that embracing those things that we're here for is a beautiful gift and not a shirking of our responsibilities. So what are those things that you can sort of put down and let those natural born disruptors or storytellers or, fill in the blank, what can you let those people move into and let you loosen so that you can do the things that you were born for and shine into those things that you were born to do? So as we sing our RE students away to their classrooms, let's think about that and kind of hold that as we sort of get our minds towards what the sermon's going to invite us to consider. So, loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, 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 just in case you need to hear it. Let go, let go, let go, just in case that's hard. Let go, let go, let go, let go. One more time, let go. Let go, let go, let go.
I invite you all to sort of stay in this gentle, sacred space that we've established. And just join me in a spirit of prayer and meditation. Just begin by finding a comfortable position for your body, whatever that means for you. Letting yourself relax into the space, whether that's here or at home or watching this on Tuesday afternoon. Just breathe normally in and out as your body allows. Maybe roll your shoulders back. Unclench your jaw. Do what you can to loosen up a little. As we sink into this time, you can clasp your hands together or place them on your heart, or even open them outwards, palms up, resting on your knees. Do whatever helps you to feel a little more settled, a little more open, a little more ready to welcome this experience. Today, I want to invite you all to do a modified version of one part of a Buddhist loving kindness meditation or metta meditation. And as we do that, if your mind wanders, that's okay. Just trust that you are getting what you needed from this time of stillness and rest. Begin by calling to mind a person close to you, someone who loves you very, very much. This could be somebody from the past or the present, someone who is living, or someone who has passed on and become an ancestor. Bring this person to mind. Imagine that this loved one is right in front of you, facing you, beaming at you with care. And just let yourself feel what it's like as they send you their love, all of their love. They want only the best for you. Let yourself now for a moment just sink into the feeling of love coming from them. Just rest in it. Linger in it. Savor it. As your loved one continues to send you care and good wishes and blessings for your health and well-being, you notice something. Behind this first person, more people begin to emerge. All of the people who have ever loved you, and who still love you, every single one. They're all starting to appear. All of them sending you their love. Picture these people, all the people who have ever loved you, just forming a circle around you. If that feels safe, if not, just gathering nearby as they continue to send you their love, however they do or did, whether through a smile or with arms stretched wide to embrace you. Let yourself sink into this moment. Feel the love of generations washing over you. Let it move you however it moves your heart. And just stay here for a moment. Linger with these people as your heart fills to the brim with love and joy and the knowledge that you are loved and lovable, that you are enough, just as you are. As our time of prayer and meditation comes to an end, know that you can stay here if you need to. You can stay where you are if you need a minute with your loved ones. And remember that you can always come back to this, because your loved ones are always, always in your heart. As our meditation today reminds us, none of us are alone, though it can sometimes feel that way. Each week in our service here at the UU Church of Boulder, we set aside time and ritual to make visible the unseen interconnection of our hopes and our concerns. For those of you who've gathered in person, we invite you to come forward as you feel so moved, starting with the back half of the room and then moving to the windows here on the side, and then finally to the front. And we invite you to come forward and grab a stone from one of our bowls and to place it in our trough of shared earth here, of sacred earth. As you wait, let your thinking quiet. Let your breath steady. Call to mind the joys and the sorrows that weigh you down or lift you up. And then when you're ready, come forward. Take a stone and place it with those from everyone else in our community, as we hold one another and our joys and our sorrows and all that is our lives in our collective care. For all of these joys, for all of these sadnesses, we hold this space now in love and in solidarity. Today, I want to begin my reflection with a reading. It's a short poem by my colleague, the Reverend Dr. Jonathan Kwong. He's a UU minister who serves our congregation in Arlington, Massachusetts. It's entitled, Faithless Works. They say faith without works is dead, so I worked for equality next to my queer friends who wanted to get married. And I worked for religious freedom next to my Muslim friends who were accused of being terrorists. And I worked for racial justice next to my black friends whose lives were affected by police brutality. Yet I didn't feel fully alive even after working myself to death, until I let my work become a spiritual practice, until I let go of my attachment to the outcome, until I stopped chasing after political issues one after another. I still believe faith without works is dead, but works without faith is just as lifeless. Works without faith is just as lifeless. Faith and work, faith and works, faith and work. So I think by now that you all have gotten enough of a sense of me to realize that in my ministry, I often lead with justice. In our Unitarian Universalist faith, it often obviously leads with justice in a very similar way. At the same time, we are a faith movement. We are absolutely a faith that believes in the importance of works, but at our very core, we are a faith movement. And for many of us, when we come here to this place, to this community, to this church, many of us are seeking not only inspiration and education about where the work of justice is needed in the world, but also consolation. We come here seeking a place where we can come and be consoled and comforted, a place where we can find moments of healing and perhaps even a brief respite from the challenges of our own personal lives, as well as all of the horrors happening in our world right now. And in our world and in our country, where those horrors are all too real, where injustices are very much on the rise, there is absolutely much work to do. Much work to do for those of us who long for and faithfully work towards justice. There is so much work that needs to be done. And yet, as the speaker in our reading today recounts, recognizing that all of that work needs to be done and seeking to do all of it, it can be completely overwhelming. And I know that at least some of you have had similar experiences to that speaker, experiences of feeling, if not quite like you'd worked yourselves to death, then at least feeling like you'd worked yourself to the point of being physically exhausted and spiritually burnt out. So today I want to reflect on how do we do the work of justice sustainably, especially knowing that we are still facing almost 4 more years of this federal administration and its breakneck assault on political freedom and human dignity. And I want to do that in a way that's more spiritual than logistical. I want to look to the wisdom of our spiritual ancestors by placing the theologies of our Unitarian and our Universalist ancestors in dialogue with one another. Because our Unitarian and our Universalist ancestors, their theologies, they offer us a way of understanding the need to balance both faith and works in times like these. And they also help to explain why we UUs sometimes sound like we're talking out of both sides of our mouths when we talk about justice work, saying things like, as I did last week, that it is a fact that we are all loved, each and every human being, just as we are, and also that we have a lot of work to do and a lot of growing. So let's start with the Unitarian side of our family tree. We're often told that the great or main teaching of our Unitarian ancestors was the oneness of God. And while they certainly did believe and teach that God was one being, one holy, unified nature, as opposed to the prevailing Christian doctrine of the Trinity, which teaches that God is one being with three distinct persons, I think that we're sometimes too content to leave it at that. And we miss out on the full richness of the theology of our Unitarian ancestors. Because if anything, the main teaching of our Unitarian ancestors wasn't about God, it was about human nature. It was the belief that at our core, human beings are in fact good. One of the strongest cases for this was made by William Ellery Channing, often considered the father of American Unitarianism and one of its most influential early figures. Channing was a Boston preacher in the first half of the 19th century. He was known not only for his intellect, but also for his passion and his moral fervor. And in one of those morally fervent sermons, one of his most famous, it was on the subject of humanity's likeness to God. And in that sermon, Channing argued that humans were made in the image of God, who Channing understood to be an all-loving moral force, the absolute perfection of virtue. And the reason that we humans, he said, are able to know this about God, the reason that we can discern goodness and truth in the world, is that we ourselves contain within us a spark of the divine. In ourselves, Channing once said, in ourselves are the elements of divinity. The thing is, according to Channing and Unitarians like him, as humans, we only contain a partial form of that divinity. And so for Unitarians, the goal of this spiritual life was to live into that godliness, to strive, to become ever more moral, ever more good, and in so doing, get ever closer and closer to God, to that perfection of virtue. Our Unitarian ancestors' faith was an aspirational one that what we might say today is that they had a growth mindset. And it was even fueled by an optimism that we might be able to grow ourselves far enough that we might reach a state of perfection, that we might be able to perfect our souls and become perfectly moral beings. Y'all already know how I feel about perfection, a little skeptical on that one. But that's our Unitarian, folks. So now let's look at the other side of the spiritual family tree, to the Universalists. If the central teaching of our Unitarian ancestors was the goodness of humanity, the central teaching of the Universalists was the goodness of God. You see, our Universalist ancestors were on the whole a lot less concerned with human nature than the Unitarians. Many of them, such as Hosea Ballou, who is a contemporary of Channing and is the leading man of American Universalism, many of the Universalists, they also believed, like the Unitarians, that we humans were endowed with divine presence. It's just that they kind of cared less about that, and they cared a whole lot more about the nature of God. Our Universalist ancestors, they took seriously the biblical teaching that God is love, that God is an all-loving being. For the Universalists, humans were the beloved children of an all-loving God, a God who holds on to us tightly and never lets us go. And because God loves us, loves all of us, like a loving parent, God only wants the best for us, every single one of us. For the Universalists, though, it wasn't enough to simply say that they believed in God, to say that they believed in that all-loving force. The Universalists believed that it was also essential to come to trust in that God. They said that we needed to come to know that all-encompassing spirit of life in our hearts and deep down in our bones. That no matter what else happens, no matter how we might feel about ourselves in any given moment, no matter what anyone else might say about us, that we must know that we are loved, that there is a power of love enfolding us always, that we are all always so deeply loved. in my opinion, one of the best contemporary takes on this kind of experience, the one that was promoted by the Universalists. It comes to us from the Reverend Dr. Rebecca Parker, who is the former president of Starr King School from the ministry, one of our UU seminaries. In a short prayer that she wrote for a book of children's blessings that was released in 2008, Parker writes, "There is a love holding me. There is a love holding you. There is a love holding all. I rest in this love. I rest in this love." These two spiritualities, those of our Unitarian and our Universalist ancestors, they complement each other so very well, especially, I think, when it comes to thinking about justice work in times like these. The Unitarian side teaches us that the spirit of life resides within us, and the Universalist side teaches that the spirit of life resides all around us. The Unitarian side lays out a vision for how we can grow as individuals. The Universalist side, it gives us a vision of what we can and should become as a community. And finally, the Unitarian side says that we must always strive to be more moral, more virtuous. And the Universalist side reminds us that we are loved and lovable regardless of where our striving leads or if we make mistakes along the way. We need both sides of our spiritual heritage, the totality of it, the whole of it. And when it comes to justice work, our work is to discern what part of our spiritual legacy we are being called to live into in any given moment. There are times when we must tend to our own needs and take time to rest and to heal. To rest knowing that we are held in love, even and perhaps especially when we need a break from all of the social justice fights swirling around us. In recent years, there has been a growing awareness of the need for rest among those of us who do justice work. You may have even heard the phrase, "rest is resistance," a term that was coined by the Black activist, poet, and performance artist Tricia Hersey, founder of the NAP ministry. Rest is resistance, she says. Hersey has written that rest is a form of resistance because it disrupts and pushes back against capitalism and white supremacy. And also that rest disrupts a system that views human bodies as a tool for production and labor. It is a counter-narrative. We know that we are not machines. We are divine. Hersey's work has certainly challenged me to reflect critically on the role that rest plays in my own life and in my ministry. As somebody who admittedly has perfectionist tendencies and as someone who has almost never been accused of taking on too little. And at the same time, I'm not always convinced that rest is always resistance, at least not in and of itself. You see, this is because Hersey's work and argument that rest is resistance, it is deeply informed by her collection of identities. As she wrote on another occasion, "My rest as a Black woman in America suffering from generational exhaustion and racial trauma always was a political refusal and a social justice uprising within my own body." But in the last few years, Hersey's cry that rest is resistance in and of itself, I've seen it taken up often very excitedly by people whose identities and relationships to power are often quite different than Hersey's, by white liberals and people with social privilege. And often that has been done without, in my estimation, enough acknowledgement or recognition of those differences. And this is where I think that we need our Unitarian ancestors. Our Unitarian ancestors who, ironically, were people of no small amount of privilege themselves. In recent years, in some circles of Unitarian Universalism, it has become popular to blame the Unitarian side of our faith for all that ails our denomination. And to be fair, on the whole, the Unitarian side of our faith probably does have the more sordid history. Some of its core teachings overlap nearly identically with the characteristics of white supremacy culture as identified by the writer and activist Tima Okun, things like individualism and perfectionism, objectivity and rationality. And the Unitarian focus on personal spiritual growth through intense attention to our own morality, it seems really important for helping us to identify what justice work is ours to do in any given context. Here's what I mean by that. When it comes to justice work, especially in times like these, we have to reflect on what our responsibilities are based on our own identities and the power that we have, and things like our past involvement in the work. It is safer, for example, for white folks to be in that disruptor category. It is safer for white folks to protest at immigration raids or to protest when police are present than it is for black and brown folks, because law enforcement officers are so much less likely to use violence against white people. And people of more economic means should bear more of the responsibility for supporting groups who are doing that frontline responder work. And it's also true that treating our own personal rest as a form of resistance means something very different for those of us who have been doing the work of resistance for years on the front lines and in the streets than it does for those of us who have tended to sit on the sidelines. Now, to be clear, lest you think that I am calling us to work all the time, I'm just as leery as going too far the other way. To give one example, the speaker in our reading today says that they let their justice work become a spiritual practice. And I certainly do think that our justice work can become more sustainable when we treat it as a spiritual practice. When, like the speaker in that reading, we let go of our attachments to outcomes and commit ourselves to the work because it is what love and our faith demands. But while justice work can be one of our spiritual practices, it can't be the only one. We have to have spiritual practices that are not our work. We have to have spiritual practices that are purely practices for being with ourselves and our bodies and our communities, and for some of us, for being with the divine of our understanding. We have to have more than just work as a spiritual practice, just as we have to have more than rest as our form of resistance. And so I think that the work of growing our souls, of following our Unitarian ancestors' model of growing spiritually by growing morally, it requires each of us to ask ourselves honestly questions about all of these issues. It requires us to reflect on how thoroughly we have lived into our deepest values and how we might be able to leverage what privileges we have when choosing what kind of work we will contribute. And it requires us to be honest with ourselves. It requires us to be honest with ourselves about when we genuinely need a break so that we can prepare for the next fight, and when we're using slogans like rest is resistance as an excuse to avoid difficult work that we may deeply believe in, but which we might feel discomfort or fear about doing ourselves. This is not easy work. There is no one-size-fits-all approach that I can give you all. The questions that we ask ourselves and the answers that we come up with, they will be as different as each of us. And we're not always going to strike the right balance between work and rest. Our Unitarian Universalist faith is one that doesn't always provide us with easy answers. But this work, this spiritual and ongoing work of discernment, I think that it's worth the effort. And it is certainly essential to sustaining ourselves in the fight for justice, a fight that we are in for the long haul, and for ensuring that we are fighting not just for ourselves, but for everyone, for our collective liberation as well as our personal freedoms. So, dear ones, may your discernment bring clarity and conviction as we work and we rest our way toward that liberation. May you find your role in the work of justice and may your work be both faithful and life-giving. And amidst it all, may you find time to rest and rest assured that you are enough and you are loved. To quote our reading one last time, I still believe faith without works is dead, but works without faith is just as lifeless. And the days and the years to come, may we keep the faith, beloveds. May we keep the faith and may we commit to the work, drawing on the richness of our spiritual heritage to guide us moment to moment in the work of discernment, of rest, and of action. May this be so. May this be so, and amen.
Are we just so grateful for Michael? I think we only have one more Michael sermon. That makes me sad. But yeah, sorry. Sometimes I just can't help with my feelings. But just what a gift to Unitarian Universalism. This developing ministry. Sorry. Thank you. And just how lucky we are that Michael is here to share their gifts with us and to just to lovingly call us forward and to shake us up a little bit. And what I can't wait to see what happens next for all of us, for our whole faith, I think. That's kind of what struck me while I was sitting there listening. So, wow, how grateful we are for Michael. Wow. Let's sing some stuff. Do you want to stand up? Okay, so don't forget, I know some of you know this one really well. Don't forget the verses are call and response. So we'll do the chorus together, and then the verses, I'll sing a line and you repeat after me. Let's arise in body or in spirit. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. You're not alone. You're not alone. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep moving on. Keep moving on. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Lift up your eyes. Lift up your eyes. Don't you despair. Don't you despair. Look up ahead. Look up ahead. The path is there. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. I know you're scared. Well, I'm scared too. And I'm scared too. But here I am. Right next to you. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead. Let's do it one more time. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead. I lied. One more time. You gotta put one foot in front of the other and lead with love. Put one foot in front of the other and lead with love.
I'm going to go. During these summer months, our weekly offering goes directly to supporting the work of our UUCB community. As a financially independent congregation, all that we do is made possible by the ways that members and friends contribute their time, talents, and treasure. It takes all of us working together to make this community what it is and to help it become what it can be. In that spirit, I invite you to give generously as you are able. For those online, you can use the QR code or find a link in the video description. For those gathered in person, you can scan the QR code or make a donation as the ushers now pass the baskets. May our gifts be used to enact justice, bringing peace and love to the Boulder community. Austin. As our worship comes to a close, we extinguish the flame of our chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. Those we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Before we depart, I have 3 invitations. maybe 4. Please join us for coffee hour after the service, where you'll have a chance to participate in our July book swap. Woohoo! Next Sunday, we'll be celebrating UUCB's 77th birthday. Amazing. As well as the folks marking 25-year anniversaries as members of our church. So please come ready to celebrate with cake after next week's service. And then, again, for next Sunday, after the birthday celebration, Michael will be leading a workshop on centering prayer. And I saw this email, and Emily, correct me, but I believe there's a listening session for the music makers, for the choir.
That's today, yes.
And the chancel cats today.
Yes.
Led by Sharon, I saw you somewhere.
Sharon and Steve. And
Where would you like us?
In the hearth room.
Okay, back there.
Oh, that's right there.
Okay.
I was like, what does that even mean?
What?
This.
Yeah. I love that we're doing these sessions to get all the perspectives of folks who have different ways of using and being in this building.
Thank you.
Choir, music, chancel folks, please be
Yes.
aware of that. Having said all that, will you please rise, embody your
Wait,
spirit?
can I say two more
Will you
things?
let Emily say something?
Yes, sorry. So I want to prepare you. So after the service on August 3rd, there's a jam session. So if you play any instrument or if you just like singing with people, we're going to make some music together on August 3rd. And then I know everybody is waiting for this. Our kickoff session for choir is coming on Saturday, August 16th. Don't ask me what time because I didn't figure it out yet. But mark your calendar. Everybody I know is dying to join choir. So on August 16th, we're going to have like lunch and fun and start to learn some music, and it's going to be great, and I'll tell you all about it, but I just want you to mark your calendar because it's happening. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. So now you can rise in body or in spirit. All right. If you like holding hands, you can join hands, or you can do the moves with me that Francisco taught us when he was here. Now I don't remember any of them. I've got the patience. I've got the patience to inhale, exhale. I've got the energy to sing. I've got the strength to keep on going, so I can rise again. So I can rise again. I got the patience to inhale, exhale. I got the energy to sing. I got the strength to keep on going, so I can rise again. So I can rise up. One more time. I got the patience. I got the patience to inhale, exhale. I got the energy to sing. I've got the strength to keep on going, so I can rise again. So I can rise again. Go in peace, my friend. Oh, yeah.